What you need to do is you need to go to the optometrist and get your eyes checked because clearly there's something wrong there. Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary and critique and reaction videos on basically anything on the internet that interests me. So if any of that interests you, then be sure to go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. And if you're already subscribed, please make sure that you have the notifications bell set to all so that you don't miss another upload, because YouTube is not sending out notifications and it's really frustrating. But anyway guys, without further ado, today we're going to be doing another reacting to your unpopular opinions. So I asked you over on my Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube community tab for your unpopular opinions, and you guys delivered in full. I have over 1,000 comments that you guys gave me that I had to sift through, but I've chosen around 40 to speak about today, and hopefully they're actually unpopular enough, because I know there are a lot of people that think that unpopular opinions are not actually unpopular and are just things that people are too afraid to say, and maybe they are. Who really cares? These videos are just fun to make. Don't squish my squash. What? That is not a saying. Oh, and if you want to go ahead and check out my other unpopular opinions videos, I'll go ahead and link the playlist down below for your viewing pleasure. But without further ado, let's get into it, because I'm about to dive in to your unpopular opinions. Let's get it. Alrighty guys, so first we'll go ahead and do the ones from Instagram. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, please go ahead and do so. It's just at the Luke Alexander. So the first one is, you don't have to support the LGBTQ, but you must respect them as a human being. Okay. Respect and support, I suppose, are two different things, but it's a little contradictory. Like, why can't you support them? Why not? You're gonna not support them, but you respect, like, I'm a little bit confused. Like, no one's asking you to go to pride rallies, but like, you could show a little bit of support for marginalized groups. So I guess I disagree with that one. Next one is, the body positivity community can cause more harm than good. I don't know about that. I feel like there's a yes and there's a no. Like, when you're encouraging people to have unhealthy eating habits or encouraging people to have unhealthy fitness habits, then yes, there is a problem there, and that's definitely the case, because I feel like there's all these diets that are involved and we all just need to focus on intuitive eating. But intuitive eating doesn't mean, oh my god, I want KFC every night, I'm gonna eat KFC every night. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to focus on intuitively eating healthily, but in the other case, unless you're the person's doctor, we should also really butt out of people's business, and that's that on that. Period. Next up is, the Charlie and Dixie drama was so stupid, they made one mistake and got cancelled. Okay, so if you don't know about the Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio drama, basically they were just really rude and boring. I don't know why I did this and not this. In this video that they filmed with James Charles and their parents, where they did like a dinner thing. Go watch the video. Yeah, I think that the whole thing was just blown out of proportion, and I think it's just because there's not a lot of drama going on right now, and I feel like people are hungry for drama. They want a little bit of that tea, a little tea to sip on, a little piping hot sip of tea, but they're not getting it. So they're just looking for problems where there aren't any. Two privileged white girls who are rich were being bratty. Like, is anybody surprised? You? No? Well, me neither. I'm not surprised. So yeah, I think the whole thing is blown out of proportion. Next up is, straight/cis people shouldn't play queer roles in TV shows and movies. I don't necessarily agree with this, because it's acting, and this is coming from me, a bisexual man myself. But I do think that, you know, we could make some more opportunities for queer people to play queer roles, as that, you know, makes sense. But then I guess it's different, because you would never have like well, I mean, they do have it when Scarlett Johansson played a character that was originally supposed to be an Asian character. So yes, there are those problems, but I feel like it's different when it comes to sexuality, because your sexuality, you can act out a sexuality on TV. You can't act out an ethnicity. You know what I'm trying to say? Just for a point of comparison. But I don't necessarily agree with this one, but I also don't necessarily disagree. I feel like it's a case-by-case basis. Although I do get kind of annoyed, like with that Love, Simon movie, where like it was a straight guy playing a gay character. I'm like, couldn't you just hired a gay actor? But it is what it is, and at the end of the day, it is acting. So I don't really have a huge problem with it, as long as I don't do it all the time. Next up is, not drinking doesn't mean you can't have fun. I definitely agree. I've recently decided to be sober for a little bit, have a little sabbatical. Don't worry, I don't have a drinking problem. But I just decided to be sober for a bit, just try it out, see if I can have fun without it. It is a little bit challenging, because I do miss drinking, and I miss that atmosphere, but I just found that it was getting a little bit unhealthy for my mental state. So I've decided to be sober, and I think you definitely can have fun without it. You know, you can be the sober one watching the drunk people making a fool of themselves. I just think it's a mindset shift. Everything, your mind, my mind is so powerful. Next up, Emma Chamberlain can get away from not talking about politics because of her privilege as a young white woman. I definitely agree, but I think that, you know, Emma Chamberlain isn't the only person who gets away with this. But then there's this whole argument where people had about my Emma Chamberlain video about whether or not, you know, we are policing people's thoughts, or, you know, do we want people to just talk about stuff for the sake of talking about it, because then we have political activism. No, not political activism, we have performative activism. But you know what, I think it's a give or take, and I think it is a privilege to be able to not speak about politics because it doesn't affect you. So I definitely agree with this unpopular opinion. Next one is, I don't find Harry Styles attractive. I think what you need to do is you need to go to the optometrist and get your eyes checked, because clearly there's something wrong there. I'm just kidding, or am I? Next up, we have men are put into just as small of a box when it comes to gender conformity as women are. I would say, if not a smaller box. Like, I feel like women are more free to express their gender expression than men, but I feel like that problem is created because of men. Like, women, for the most part, are okay with men expressing their femininity, but it's men who put down other men for expressing their femininity. So basically, men create problems for men and other people. Basically, men are the problem. And I say that as a man myself, but I'm not like other guys. Ew. Next one is, it hurts me to say since I'm a huge Ari fan, but I think Positions is an overrated album. I don't understand the Positions hate. Like, I'm not getting it. Like, I'm no comprende, because I think that Positions is actually such a great album. Where is this coming from? I mean, it's not her best album, but it's a really good album. Just like listen to it a few more times, okay? But like, I respect your opinion. I just disagree. But I've been seeing this opinion a little bit here and there. Okay, no. Lana Del Rey is overrated. I said what I said. Absolutely not. Norman effing Rockwell, that album is pure gold, okay? I love that album so incredibly much. Lana is queen. Lana is my queen. She will always be my queen, and she is and forever will be that bitch. Is she problematic? Yes. Who's not these days? You know what I mean? I feel like it's a case-by-case basis. Next one is, having a child isn't a right, it's a privilege, and require in-depth tests and licensing to breed. I agree. I think what you're trying to say is, like, having a child is not a right that everyone should just have. It's like a privilege to have one, and how, you know, there's no policing involved when it comes to having a child. Literally anyone can have a child. And to me, that's scary, because there are people out there who just straight up should not be parents. I feel like there should be some government control. Then again, I don't want the government controlling everything, but like, I just think it's too easy for people to have kids, and certain people just should not be having kids. There needs to be some sort of thing, like, you have to do a test to drive a car. Why can't you do a test to raise a child? You know what I mean? Next one is, I think it's ignorant and privileged to say you don't care who wins in politics. 100%. You not caring about politics just shows that it doesn't affect you because you're privileged. I said what I said, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant! Family channels should not exist on the internet. Yeah, they shouldn't. I've made videos about this, about like the Ace family and about family channels in general. I think family channels are toxic and unhealthy for the children. Parents exploiting children for money, it's a no-go for me. There's no laws in place that can protect them, like child actors. Therefore, I do not want it on my timeline. Get it out of my face. Okay, YouTube, do something about it. Now. Next one is, being attractive will get you further in life. Yeah, I definitely agree with this one. I think that being attractive there is such thing as pretty privilege, and people will treat you better if you're attractive. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. I would know. I'm kidding. Next one is, winter clothing is the superior style of clothes. Yes, everyone loves summer, and I'm like just not getting where you guys are coming from. Maybe it's because I live in Australia where it's like boiling hot in summer, like to the point where like sometimes it's unbearable. But no, I'm definitely a winter kind of guy. I love winter clothes, I love winter fashion, I love layering. I just love winter fashion, and winter in general is my favorite season. Okay, actually maybe it's spring. I don't know, I just like the cooler months where I can layer up. Next one is, being a YouTuber is actually way harder than people think. Yes and no. I think people think that being a YouTuber is super easy, and for some people it is, like people who have teams. But people like me, I'm just kidding, who do literally everything themselves, like edit their own videos, film their own videos, come up with their own ideas, write their own scripts. Like, not that I script my videos, but sometimes I do. It is challenging doing it all your own and being your own boss, and it's mentally taxing. It's like a very mentally taxing job. It may not be super physically demanding or time consuming, but it takes up a lot of your mental space. And it's hard to know when to switch off. And I'd say one of the most challenging things about it is like constantly having to come up with a new idea. Like every single week, I'll upload my video, and then I can't even enjoy the fact that I uploaded a video because I'm just stressed about what my next video is gonna be. But I love it, and I'm not gonna complain. Next one is, people are fake woke when they bash others for height, dick size, and body positivity who. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of and I'm not, because like guys do this horribly to girls, but there's a lot of girls who like will make a double standard and like bash guys for not being tall enough or for not having a big enough schlong. And I just think that's hypocritical. I think body positivity needs to go both ways. There's still men who do it as well. I'm just saying, like, if we're going to preach body positivity, it has to go both ways. Okay. Alrighty guys, so those are all the ones from Instagram, and let's go ahead and go to the ones that I chose from Twitter. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's just at Luke the Lunatic. The first one is, drama channels are keeping bad influencers relevant, therefore they will never be cancelled. I definitely agree with that. I think that it's a fine line between accountability and cancelling someone. And when you keep like talking about people, like I see drama channels that are still talking about Shane Dawson. I'm like, this man is never going to be cancelled if you keep talking about him. But you know what, I guess it is what it is, and like drama channels need to make their coin, and I respect that. So, you know, it's just kind of a cog, it's a wheel, it's the way that it works on the YouTube, you know? Next one is, toxic positivity is something that isn't addressed enough in today's culture of forced artificial positivity, and it's mentally damaging and detrimental as any mental illness. I definitely agree. I think being overly positive can be a bad thing, like positive vibes only. Like, no, it's important to like validate your own feelings and understand that it's okay that some days you're gonna have bad days and you're gonna have sad days, and that you will never always be happy. You know, what we should search for in life is contentment, and then the rest of it is going to be ebbs and flows in your mood, you know? Oh my god, I sound like a therapist. Go me. Next one is disordered eating, not eating disorders, and diet culture is way too accepted and part of our normal life that most probably wouldn't even realize they're engaging in such habits. Yeah, I saw a TikTok the other day of this dietitian talking about like keto and like all these diets and, you know, intermittent fasting and all that type of stuff is so unhealthy, and like really stressing the importance of intuitive eating. And I know that that's difficult for some people who struggle with weight loss and stuff like that, but I think it's so important to focus on like just like listening to your body and nourishing your body instead of like focusing on stressing your body out so that it can like lose weight and achieve a certain goal. That's why like I go to the gym to stay fit and for my mental health. I don't go to change the appearance of my body. If my body changes, then that's fine and that's cool, and if I get more muscly, then sweet. But like I feel like going for that goal is unhealthy. I just feel like we need to be intuitive with our own bodies, you know? Next one is, as a Christian who's waiting for marriage, it would be nice if people would normalize people who decide to date for marriage. I agree with this one. I think dating for marriage is fine no matter what age you are. I think we all just need to respect each other's dating choices. Some people date casually, some people sleep around, some people wait till marriage, some people, you know, date for marriage. That is perfectly okay. We all just need to stay out of each other's business and respect it. Next one is, I love Taylor Swift, but her Reputation album was pretty bad. It was a cringy attempt at being cool and edgy, and it did not work. I couldn't disagree more. I love Reputation. I don't think it was cringy and an attempt to be cool and edgy. I think it was her talking about like what, you know, society did to her and taking a break and like talking about like her reputation and taking that claim back. I love Reputation. It's not one of my favorite Taylor albums, but I think it is a really, really good album. I love all of Taylor's albums. It's hard for me not to. She's a queen. Next one is, people just hate on the Kardashians because they're jealous. No, I don't think so. I'm not jealous of the Kardashians. I don't think that all that life is about is fame and money. I think people are just genuinely critical of them because they're self-involved, out of touch, and spoiled, really. Next one is, I don't get why age gap relationships between older men / younger women are more socially accepted than older women / younger men. It's called sexism. That's the only way I can think about it. Next one is, it used to be a dream to be famous, but now I feel like it's a fear. You have to be very careful about what you say and do. You have to make sure you didn't think different or say anything different or wrong 10 years ago. You can't make mistakes these days. Yeah, being famous definitely seems scary to me. I feel like it's a really, really tricky way to be, but then obviously there's a lot of pros and cons, like there is to a lot of different careers, but being famous just seems terrifying. Next one is, I don't think you can call yourself an animal lover if you eat animals and contribute to harming them. Sure, you can be a pet lover and not all animals, but eating the same animals you claim to love is plain hypocrisy to me. Look, if you asked me this in the past, back when I used to be vegan, I would agree, but now I don't agree because I feel like as human beings, there's like a certain food chain and we can try eat animals. As I only eat fish and chicken. I don't eat red meat just because I can't stomach it. It just grosses me out. But I'm not judging you if you do. But I still love chickens and I still love chickens and fish, don't get me wrong, but I just have to nourish my body and put myself first because my body was struggling on a vegan diet. So sometimes you just need to put yourself first. And I don't think that means that you don't love animals. That's my opinion on that. Next up is Trisha Paytas doesn't feel controversial to me. It's just sad. She tries so hard to get attention by being offensive to XYZ community. Imagine how tired we are. She has nothing unique to offer. Whew, that was intense. Yeah, I think Trisha is just looking for drama to stay relevant, which is sad, but it's working for her, and I have to admit that I do listen to the Frenemies podcast and I do really thoroughly enjoy it. But yeah, she's just looking for drama to stay relevant, and she keeps getting involved in stuff, and it's like, Trisha, you're not a drama channel. Just like butt out of it. Or if you want to be a drama channel, then like claim to be a drama channel, I guess. Next one is you can't be a moral person and also be a billionaire. Every day they choose to let people die while they hoard more money than they'll ever be able to use. Definitely true. I definitely agree with that one. It's not a moral thing. It's just a matter of like, you need to be distributing your wealth to charity because you don't need that money. You don't need all of that money. How much can you possibly spend when you have $1 billion? Talking to you, Jeff Bezos. Alrighty guys, so next up will be the unpopular opinions from my YouTube community tab. And if you want to be involved in that, you obviously just have to be subscribed and have the post notifications bell on. So the first one is Apple products are an overpriced scam and haven't been innovative in years. I definitely agree that Apple just keeps coming out with more and more and more products to just suck money out of you, and they literally just have this ecosystem that everyone feeds into, including me, where like you get the AirPods, you get the Apple Watch, you get the phone, you get the laptop, like it all works together so seamlessly that you just feel like you need all of it. And yeah, I just agree with this one. Next one is Gen Z aren't yet anywhere near as groundbreaking or revolutionary as we like to think we are. While there are many inspiring Gen Z activists and movements, I think for the most part we've just found like-minded communities online and in turn created insular idealized bubbles for ourselves. I do and I don't agree with this because I feel like Gen Z is really just a really accepting generation, and we're just really accepting of lots of different types of people. So maybe we're not doing groundbreaking things for like climate change, even though we're doing strikes and we're like trying our best to like get the government to be aware of this. But I feel like we're creating a safer space for human beings, which I think is so important because the most important thing on this planet is everyone's mental health. So I kind of disagree. I think that Gen Z has really made some strides in that and has normalized a lot of things like therapy, being part of the LGBTQA+ community, you know, being accepting of people of all different races, sizes, you know, genders, it doesn't matter. So I think we've done well in that sense. Next one is parents shouldn't scold their children for not doing things that they don't even do. Example, if they smoke, they shouldn't expect their kids not to either. Yes and no, like if you're below the legal age, then yeah, don't do it. But like if you're above the legal age and you smoke and your parents smoke and they're judging you, it's a little bit hypocritical. So I do kind of agree with this one. Next one is hiring a stripper before the day you're supposed to get married is disgusting and weird. It's the last night of freedom is the night before you entered the relationship. Yeah, I did always think it was kind of weird to do that, but I guess having a stripper isn't necessarily cheating because you're not like doing anything with the stripper, but you're like also looking at someone of the opposite or same gender naked. So I don't know, I guess it just depends on the case-by-case basis. I don't know if I would do a stripper before my wedding. I guess I'd have to just wait and see, but I don't think I would. But it's also just a tradition that people do. Who knows, weddings have weird traditions. I mean, weddings are weird when you really think about it in general, like signing yourself over to one person for the rest of your life, kind of crazy. Next one is if you're not dating for marriage then you're dating for a breakup is BS and narrow-minded. There's no problem with dating someone just to date them. It can be a beautiful moment without needing to last a whole damn lifetime. Definitely agree. I think you can definitely date around for fun and not date with like if you are dating someone, like me, I'm 20, I'm not gonna date someone now and be like, oh, I will marry you. I think everybody just dates for different reasons, like that previous unpopular opinion, and we just need to respect that. Next one is you don't have to fight for a relationship just because there's history. If you've outgrown someone after a lot of years and you know it, then move on. Stop waiting for things to fall back into place when you know it's over. I definitely agree, unless, for example, you have kids and you want to try and make it work for the kids. Sometimes divorce is honestly the best option, but I think once again, it's just a case-by-case basis. But I definitely agree that just because you have years and years of history with somebody doesn't mean that you should force something that just isn't working. We're getting really therapeutic. I love it. Next one is people hating on basic girls or girls who like popular things, e.g. Billie Eilish and Starbucks, roots in misogyny. I never see any guys get made fun of for liking popular things. I get the not like other girls vibes when girls get criticized doing something they like. There are so many great videos about this out there, but I definitely agree that people are so much more judgmental when it comes to girls being basic or being not like other girls. Oh, did you hear that? I feel like there's like no in between, and it's like, why can't girls just be who they want to be? Stop trying to fit people into a box and label them. Our society is obsessed with labels, and it's just so frustrating. Like, I just admire people like Harry Styles who just don't label themselves, because I'm like, F labels, just be who you want to be. So I definitely agree with this one, and I think boys get away with it a lot easier when they like basic things. Next one is, I don't believe that getting plastic surgery for nobody else but yourself exists at all, unless it's something that is going against the current beauty trend, which it never is. 10 years ago, everyone was getting boob job. Now it's a butt lift. I just don't believe that someone is doing it for themselves when it's molding yourself around the current social norm. Maybe people keep telling themselves that because it's easier to deny the inconvenient truth. I think that this is a really profound thing, because like, years ago, people weren't obsessed with having big lips, and now everyone's getting lip fillers. And they'd be like, oh, I'm doing it for myself. And it's like, no, you're doing it to fit society standards. Like, people were not getting their butts filled with fat years ago, and now they're doing it because it meets society standards. So I definitely agree with this one. But in the same sense, like, there's other things like nose jobs, which have always been around, and people just genuinely have insecurities. But I think it's because their insecurities are there because they don't fit society standards of what you should look like. We live in a society. Anyway, guys, that are all the unpopular opinions that I gathered for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what you thought of it. All my other unpopular opinions videos are linked in the playlist down below. As well, in the link in my description is my social medias if you would like to go ahead and follow me, and my second channel, and my merch, and my Cameo if you would like to go ahead and support me further. Oh, and of course, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you have the post notifications bell set to all. Alrighty, guys, that's it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see my next one. And as always, I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye!